Do you like women's sports? Sports across the gender spectrum? How about you're sick of men's sports? Well, that's what we're here to talk about.
On this show, we work to level the sports coverage across the gender spectrum.
Welcome to Balance Sports.
I'm Hunter.
I'm Jewelz.
Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Balance Sports. Today, we are discussing week 2 in the WNBA.
There's been some really good games this week. Would you say the rankings or the standings reflect where you thought they would be after 2 weeks?
No. Completely biased opinion. Rooting for the Seattle Storm. We're in the area. And so also just wanting Sue Bird to have a really great send-off as a legendary player from this league. So I was hoping they'd be higher up. I was expecting them to have a better record than they currently do, but they have an all-star who's out. And Mercedes Russell, who is also a huge contributing piece to this team, is also out with a non-basketball injury.
So sure, Seattle's not where you want them to be, but Sylvia Fowles is also a star who's leaving this year, and they're last, and here you are not talking about Sylvia. With multiple stars out as well. It's almost a mirror similar story as Sue, so why aren't we talking about Big Sil and her 0-4 squad?
Wow, I've been read tough to kill.
Just kidding.
No, I think I was not expecting them to be at the very bottom. I think I was expecting Indiana to be at the very bottom.
And
so much Indiana slander on this here channel. We'll be talking them extensively today.
Yes, we knew Nafisa Collier was going to be out. And so she's a big part of who they are. And so I'm not utterly shocked that they are currently struggling to figure things out.
Totally. They've been without Kayla McBride. They released their entire roster, re-signed them, released them again, signed some other players to hardship, brought some players in out of nowhere, seemingly.
They're just doing a lot over there.
They're doing a lot. Let's figure out what's happening in Minnesota Challenge this season. It's just been really fun. I'm happy we're 2 weeks into it. It feels like we were just talking about preseason, and now, wow, 2 weeks into the season.
Can't believe we made it. So who's surprising from you with your rankings? Who are you surprised to see where they're at?
I think I'm mostly just happy that it seems like Las Vegas has just jumped right into it. I think in my mind, I was like, let's give them some grace. It's going to start off a little rocky. They've never been a team to just shoot all these threes. Bill really liked to beat it down low. And I mean, if you have Asia Wilson, obviously you want to do that. They're scoring at a high rate. I don't know. I'm just really enjoying watching them play, and it doesn't hurt that, they are shooting more threes and you have an MVP down low to throw it into when you need boards and some down low presence. I've loved watching Vegas so far. As
I've said before, I'm here for Asia Wilson and rooting for her success always. And so I'm very happy that they have a great start to the season.
And, Indiana, I just like the excitement and the tenacity that Indiana's playing with.
Yeah, they're very, very fun to watch. Do you want to get into it?
Let's talk about the all-rookie game. Who did you pick in the preseason to be Rookie of the Year?
We didn't. I don't think we officially picked.
We
should definitely do that. And if you're asking me right now, on today, I would say Ryan Howard is my Rookie of the Year pick.
If you're asking me on today as well, I'm today years old when I announced this, I would say Ryan Howard. But if you would ask me preseason, I would have said Melissa Smith. I'm not going to lie. I'm just saying her usage rate's going to be up there. I feel like they need her on the court a lot to really keep things moving. But then you watch Ryan Howard play and you're like, oh, she's a 6-year veteran. Got the body of an all-star.
Yes, she looks like, when you watch her play, it's like that is a grown woman playing basketball, right? That is not a college student who's new here. She's like, I've been here. I done been here.
Nothing looks rookie about her. She looks very content in her game. I like that it doesn't seem that she's forcing it. You know that Atlanta's relying on her a lot for their offensive production. But, at Kentucky, she kind of at times felt like she was that entire team. And she did great at that. And I'm just really enjoying watching her with a more spread offense, spread floor, and seeing how she can create an attack. She had how many points in the first quarter yesterday?
She had 17 points in the first quarter, which is a WNBA record.
Yeah, for rookie points in a quarter.
Yeah.
That's when you come in the league, set records.
Points per game, she is 4th at 20.8. Ahead of her is Alyssa Thomas, Jewel Lloyd, Kelsey Mitchell. and behind her is Elena Deladon.
Kelsey Mitchell's in front of her?
Yeah.
Whoa.
With
How many is Kelsey
22.
Mitchell? Come on, Kelsey. Indiana, the Indiana of it all.
Yeah, so she's in really good company. Obviously, Atlanta won, but do you feel like there were moments where Nalissa Smith got the better of Ryan? Because we're going to show this three-pointer that, to me, this was like very clearly Ryan Howard saying, I am the one. Do you feel like there was a moment where Nalissa Smith was like, no, it's me?
Here's what I'll say. Their games are really different. So I don't like Ryan Howard has that ability, the shot we're talking about. She's just like out there dribbling like, we got the clock's running down. We'll create something. And then she just busts out that three, like in her eye. Loved that. Nalissa Smith's game is more predicated down low. So you're not just going to get this like, I'm just out here chilling and then oops, fade away on you. Like her game just looks different. So I think like Ryan Howard has more opportunities to have these like flashy kind of highlight moments. And Nalissa Smith, I think also is just such a force on defense. So there was a couple possessions at the end of quarters where they would be on each other. And that's where I was getting really excited about those. And yes, Ryan hit some big shots, but there was a couple times that I just thought like Nalissa Smith was like, you're not scoring this specific time. So yeah, I mean, I think they both had their moments. I mean, Ryan Howard had a all-time great rookie game. So game. She, to me, got the better of this game. They also won. Atlanta won. And she had the best game, period. Not of all rookies. So I think she did that. Like, if we're voting, like if our rookie of the year scales, like Ryan tipped it way in her favor on that one. But it's really clear that like her and Nalissa Smith are going to be right here all season. There's other players who are also playing really great, but I just feel like these two, they want this so badly, and they ain't gonna let you forget that they're gonna be the rookies. Queen Egbo.
I was waiting for you to get the Queen.
I had to, because y'all know on this channel somebody been a hater. I wasn't prepared for Queen Egbo to make that roster. I wasn't prepared for Queen Egbo to get drafted that high. I have not been prepared for Queen Egbo to have the performances she's had. She looks so good. Yeah. You ever see players and you're just like, they're going to have a long career here?
For sure.
Her offense isn't there yet. Like, she just has to get comfortable. And I think if she just worked on, like, you got to create the separation down in the paint. And she's not going to be the biggest post player. And there's a couple players that, like, they're not fading fully away, but just create some separation on your shot, like a turnaround jumper. I think when her offense catches up, she's going to be such a vital part to a WNBA team.
Because her defense is there.
Look at this block. Swatted it into another city. I don't even know. Her defense is there. Her rebounding is there. Yeah. Her intensity is there. She'll get it.
Yeah, for sure. She will develop. For sure.
And then we got Henny on that team. Emily Inksler's been coming in. Lexi Hull made her first points in this game. We'll see how
that's surprising. That's surprising. I thought.
Another thing, I just have to talk about this. We are in some fantasy rosters, and Nia Coffey was someone that was drafted in my squad beforehand, and there was some really nice players available. So I dropped Nia Coffey, and I picked up some other players.
And you are deeply regretting that decision.
I am. Because Nia Coffey had 14 thug thizzles. She had 14 points. She had 6 boards, 1 assist. And every game, she's really doing pretty solid, and I'm like, why?
Oops, my bad. Oops.
I think I picked up someone who had a really great game the first game and got dropped from a team entirely. But it's like a bench position. I don't know how fantasy works. If y'all do, comment, like, subscribe. We can't even remember to get on the page to go change the rosters.
We're definitely very bad at this. We need to set like a reminder to be like, check your roster, please, and make some moves. All that to be said, I am winning.
Wait, both leagues or just one?
Facts are facts.
So we got to see 2 GOATs play this weekend. They'll only get one more regular season meeting, and that's honestly hoping that both are healthy. We've seen a lot of different things happen this season that could make that not possible. Just like, what did it feel like to watch Sue and Diana? Like, how was that?
That was incredible. Looking at like friends compete at a high level, it's just really entertaining and really fun, and you can see that like there's competitive joy that they play with each other. The moment that comes to mind in particular is a jump ball that they did. For the record, the tape shows very clearly that Sue fouled Diana, but they do a jump ball, and it was like Diana later in the presser was like, I think that's the first jump ball we've ever done together. Like, I don't know. They were just really fun. The energy at the arena was just awesome. Like, it was incredible. I'm so fortunate and happy I got to see two goats on the court together.
Yeah, that jump ball was just really cool. I thought, we got to talk with Diana afterwards, but Diana has been like one of the leading scorers, if not the all-time leading scorer against the Seattle Storm. I think one of the people in the presser said that at Seattle's previous arena, she was like the all-time point scorer holder at an opponent, which to me was a crazy stat.
And then when this weekend, she now holds that record.
Yeah, right. She scored the most points in that game, or I guess as an opponent, she scored the most points in that game. Yeah. So when they did that jump ball, the whole crowd stood up and gave like a standing ovation, and that just felt like, oh, what a moment! Like the crowd really gets it here. And yes, Diana has like she's thwarted Seattle many times. In this game alone, she was, I feel like, a huge reason that they ended up pulling it out.
I think she hit a 3 and literally silenced the crowd. Like, everyone was like, oh, and she was running back and was just like, shut it up. Like, it was, definitely, oh man,
too small. Yeah. Oh, it was great. And it was nice to be really close. It was just cool to see like the fans be like, yes, this player has just like killed us time and time again, but like, what a career. We just respect it. That was so neat. It.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Okay. Sitting down closer, you hear more things, you see more things, you're privy to more things. There's a moment for me that stood out. Do you think you know what it is?
I feel like you're going to throw some Skylar Diggins-Smith shade over here.
Skylar Diggins-Smith, we need a moment. Do
you feel like you have a full grasp on what happened?
I think so.
Let the people hear.
First of all, Skylar Diggins-Smith walks into this thing and you're like, who brought this Pilates instructor in here?
So I got to go to the practice the day before. Skylar Diggins-Smith walks right past me and just, hey, what's up? She is the most beautiful person I've seen in real life. Like, gorgeous. Just so, like, a short supermodel. Like, that.
You're just a muscle. Like, you're a beautiful muscle.
Her arms are cut. Oh my goodness, she's such an athlete.
I think I just always thought she was like faster, leaner, and just like a smaller thing than she was. And she was like a pest on defense.
Oh, for sure.
So the play that I'm talking about is we're like 3 or 4 rows deep from the bench. And she's very vocal player.
Yeah.
Some of us play that way. I played that way. And I didn't feel like she was yelling things at the other team, more like, the way when I played, I was so gassed and I'm yelling things at my team. Like, let's pump ourselves up. Yeah. Let's play within our game. Yeah. She reminds me of that. I liked it.
So Skylar Diggins-Smith reminds you of your game. Continue.
Exactly. Body type, Gorgina, like the way the jersey fits. It's the whole thing for me. Our shot, our dribbling ability, the Olympic of it all. We've all been there. So me and Skylar are the same person. That end of story. Just kidding. No. So Skylar was playing defense on a Seattle Storm player, hit it off of their leg, and says, maybe we'll use a bleep here, but something to the effect of like, give me that shit. And this was right after she had like blocked someone else's shot and then yelled, bitch, and then got a technical for it. Absolutely. So she was very boisterous, shall we say, during this game. She hits this off a Seattle player. The ball goes out of bounds. She looks at this person on the front row, like a Seattle Storm fan, and does this whole thing. You know, when players just gives like that stank face to the crowd that's like, don't bring this in here. Like, I own this place. So that was like, it was what it was. And then what felt goofy about it was she like gave this like mean mug face. And then she walks up to this like 8-year-old girl and shakes her hand, was like, thanks for being here. Then she looks at everyone sitting around this area and goes, see y'all, I can be nice. She didn't say y'all and she didn't say it like that. See, I can be nice is probably what she said.
She said, she said, see, I'm nice. Here's the thing. We know nice people. Nice people never say I'm nice because their actions speak for themselves. And I'm not saying she's not nice. I'm simply saying that nice people don't actually need to say.
Nice people don't need the reminders.
They don't need that. She felt like she was playing the villain of the game, and I'm here for it. Everyone has a role to play. I think that like fuels her. I think it's entertaining. I think the fans get into it where it's like, oh yeah, they want to like do all that, and then she can silence them, like, so I'm here for it. But like, if you're gonna play the villain, play the villain. Don't be like, I'm nice. Like, no, you're not.
Anyways, it was a great game.
Yeah, very entertaining. Seattle lost, sadly.
But Jewel went off.
Jewel did what Jewel does. I think this brings us very nicely into what we asked. Let's talk about being back in the presser, some insight that we gained from the question that we asked the coaching staff, the players, and the like. I don't know, it's popping off in the press.
Look, we're learning every week. And what I've found is if there's a free moment and they're like, our connect there was looking around the room. Does anyone else? Actually, this was the best part. Jewelz, your question?
So, goodness gracious. Like, it was a panel. It was Talbot, it was Ezzy, and it was Jewel. And then she says,
Julia, would you like to ask a question?
And I froze. Oh, my God.
To be fair, usually we're all raising our hands. And
I didn't raise my hand.
What I thought was great, Jewelz, is I had mad respect to you. Like, she knows your name and was like, you are good at this. Ask a question. I just thought it put a lot of faith in you.
It did.
It was a moment. I'm celebrating it.
Yeah. And so now I know to always have a question ready. So I'm going to use that as a learning opportunity. And like next time I will do better because good God, it was just a moment of failure of just like, I ain't got nothing to say.
It doesn't really put you on the spot.
My question pre-game to Coach Quinn was a logistical one, but more of like, how does front office type stuff work? And so I asked, are you the person calling these new players and saying, hey, welcome to, the team or welcome back or whatever like that? And she informed me, no, that's not what she does. She gave the answer of like, that's someone else's job and, whatever. And
I thought it was really cool. Like, who did make that call to Reina Perez is what we were curious about. Reina Perez got signed on a hardship roster. Who did she say made that call?
So the general manager makes the call and we will play the clip for you right now.
My question kind of like that is, logistically, are you as the head coach calling and making that, hey, bringing you up, or is that someone in the front office?
Yeah, that's Talisa, our general manager, and, we are always in talks and communication about players, but, during practice yesterday, she's making phone calls that I couldn't be on because we had to prepare for the game. So T's been great. Her temperament has been great in these situations, like dealing with, COVID and, having to talk to the league and figuring out what our next steps are, and she's giving us players when we need them, so she's been doing a great job.
Thank you.
Sometimes we learn things too that just make a lot of sense once you ask it. And you ask that question, she goes, I had to lead a practice, so I can't make those calls. And I was like, yeah, that's probably how that works.
That make a lot more sense than what I thought.
Hey, do those layup signs. Yeah, Reina, so we need you tomorrow. Shoot it faster. Like, can you imagine?
That's what the general manager does. Gotcha.
Yeah, you're busy coaching. We didn't get any player availability.
No,
we did on
we
court.
so did. We were on court. And I would like to note at that moment, Rebecca Lobo was on court and Holly Rowe was also on court. So
Ryan Rucco, our colleagues.
We do the same thing.
Essentially. So it was really cool to speak one-on-one with Reina and Kayla Davis just about what that process was like for them.
She was awesome. Very sweet. Very approachable. And, I asked her, like, where were you when they got the call? Like, what were you doing? And she was like, yeah, I was at home and I took a shower and like headed 20 minutes to the game. I was like, what? That's wild. And then she hopped on the flight. I asked her how much she'd packed. Like, you get this call, you're now, gonna be on a professional roster, but you don't know how long you're going to be there. So I asked her how much clothes did she actually pack? And she was like, about 4 days worth. And she was prepared to just buy more clothes in the event that she needed some. So, yeah.
Anywho, Kayla Davis, I thought, had really fun energy. It was just cool.
You did a great job of plugging, but you did a great job interviewing her. When you asked her about Carolina, she lit up. She was so excited that like you knew where she went to school and to say something about the program. So that was cool.
I mean, I can't say it's for Kayla Davis. I'm trying to meet Dawn Staley. So I'm like, cool.
Anything we can
Love
do to
that
get
story
closer.
for you, Kayla. It was really just like one step closer to Dawn for me, for you, for mankind, quite frankly.
So you said something that made me think of something that I think our audience could get in on. If you have a question, I can ask it. So we're going to go to Wednesday's game. Seattle plays
Chicago. If I get to meet Candace Parker, I will die. Like, that is my, oh my, it's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. There's a level of professionalism I'm willing to cross. Look, yes, I have a jacket and tie on, but Candace, I have your shirt on underneath this. I'm going to die.
I was honestly shocked that she was the player we got to talk to at the end of the game.
Tell them how close we were.
She reaches out, I reach out, like that's how close we were. I was in her freaking face. I was dead center, and because of that, she would answer other people's question, but like naturally just
kind of just look at you.
It wasn't like that. It was just like we were so close. Okay, so anyway, so I think it would be really cool if we got Candace. Who knows who we're going to get to talk to. But if you have a question for any of the players that you're wondering, put it in the comments and we'll see if we can get that asked.
Not everyone gets the eye contact that Miss Julia Morrow be getting. It feels heavy. It feels serious. It feels spiritual.
What I'm going to say is I feel seen. And I think that's because that room is majority male. And so I think I'm getting the eye contact because most of the time I'm the only female, with a microphone asking questions, or in some cases not asking questions.
Are you suggesting that I femme up my look? Okay, not
Just
me with extensions. That's a really good point, though. Like, in this entire, you were one of 3, I guess, this week. Mm-hmm. And I've thought that's been interesting too. I mean, when I got this job as a writer, they were like, they were pretty honest with me. Like, we were looking for more women to cover the sport. And there wasn't as many people applying. That's kind of a bummer.
It is. And again, that's speculation. I don't know if that's true, but perhaps. Also, I mean, I am also one who has a camera, and most people do not. So maybe that's why they're looking at me. Or maybe it's because I'm so good looking. Who knows?
My favorite personal question in the inside that I gained is that Ezzy's very fun. No, I think the exact way I phrased it was, Ezzy, you had 7 blocks tonight versus the Phoenix Mercury. You're 1 away from tying Lauren Jackson's all-time record for a single game. What kind of adjustments did you make, and what does that mean to you? And when I said Lauren Jackson's name, as a fellow Australian, Ezzy did like the biggest. She got really happy and smiled, and then you could tell she was like, back to being a professional athlete and like simmered down. But I was like, oh, that was a cool, I liked that. But I'm also a geek that looked at that stat during the middle of the game.
And I just love that, like, as my friend, knowing, like, hearing him ask that question, and I was like, what a nerd. And then like seeing how that was received by somebody, again, it was like, your nerdness like made her feel like awesome. And so that was really cool.
That was really fun. Noelle Quinn was really great, but they brought in Diana and
she just shut it down.
Shut it down. I thought it was really cool that when she left, these other people that seemingly have a lot more media experience than us, like Diana walks out of the room and they're like, we just got to talk with Diana. And I was like, yeah, we're all geeked, right? This is sick. And I think the way that it happened felt very cool. Like, she could have set up on the stage with the Seattle stuff behind her, and she elected to like sit off the podium right in front of us, and it just felt like a conversation. It felt like I was hanging out on the couch, just like shooting the beep with a friend.
Yeah, it felt very like fireside chat. It felt very circle time, just like a really intimate space. I will say there was a very awkward moment of, okay, so as Hunter was explaining, she wasn't on the podium, which has a microphone ready. So somebody came with a rather large microphone so that she could be heard for other people who needed to hear that. And that makes sense. But he didn't say anything. He just kept nudging forward. He just kept getting a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And she kept looking over at him. And then it was just like, dude, would you just say, hey, we just want to just say, we just need to hear you. So I'm just going to come a little closer. Just, like, it was so awkward where she was like answering questions and then kept looking over like, are you going to keep getting close to me?
Some of us jumped on the Zoom availability this week.
For the practice, yes. So I went to in-person practice. Hunter jumped on the Zoom availability. Tell them about your Zoom experience.
Well, what had happened previously is during Zoom availability, the Zoom will pop up. You're like, the regular stuff we all go through. Wait for this person to open the meeting. You're just like, cool, I'm sitting in it doing my thing. Previously, that would pop up and they'd be like, hey, we're going to get the players in here, guys. Just giving you a heads up. It'll happen in 3-5 minutes. Like, it does not just pop in. We are all busy during our work days. These conferences happen in the middle of the days. I was busy doing other things with my life.
What were you doing?
In the middle of an ab workout. We're all professional athletes here that are trying to work multiple jobs. I was trying to squeeze a lot into a short amount of time that day. It is what it is.
Got to get the body right. Continue.
Got to get that. I got to get my body right in order to cover their bodies the right way. You know what I'm saying? The Zoom pops up. I'm in the middle of doing some flutter kicks and so she's working herself back in shape right now. Zoom pops up. The PR person goes, well, Hunter, you're the only one here. What's your questions? I'm on the other side of my room, Let's be real. I'm on the other side of Z Garage. I sprint over there. I'm in a cutoff tee. My hair is all over the place. So I was like, well, I can't turn the camera on. So I'm forced to ask 2 questions to these. I'm forced to ask. They're like, what are your questions? It sounded like this. Hi, so Gabby, Ezzy, I'm just kind of curious. It was one of the more embarrassing moments of my life. I was the only person on the Zoom. Wasn't prepared for that either. Thought there was going to be the usual 5, 7, 6 subjects.
Let's talk about that.
While feeling really ridiculous about how I did this, was like just bummed that for the second week of a WNBA season, a team that really has like championship aspirations,
Absolutely.
that I am taking into account that like it was the middle of the day.
And there were media members, like we were there were more people, there.
At the actual practice. Usually there is access to players at the practice, and you guys found out that day. Came to the practice, and then practice ended, and they're like, BT Dubs, we can't give you all this today because everyone's kind of going through COVID. So I just kind of got like bummed and sad that I was the only media member online, and I was like, if maybe the players don't think this way, maybe it's just me having a pity party in my mind, but like how bum is it that like you are the best player in the world, you sit down for media availability, and there could be days where it's like, hey, no one's here, y'all just jump out.
Yeah, and I think that sends the wrong message. Obviously, I don't know what they think. Maybe it's like, cool, I got my my time back, but to me, I want people asking questions. I want them writing about us. I want us to write. I'm going to say us as if I am a WNBA player. Right, let's follow along. So I want people writing. I want people asking questions. I want people talking about it. And so if there's not media talking about it, then it feels like you don't care. And we do care.
Or it's diminished entirely.
Yeah. So I'm glad you were there to ask your breathy questions. And it just makes me frustrated that more people weren't. And hopefully that won't happen again. We're learning, growing, and
asking
just see a lot
questions.
That's what we do as members of the media. We ask questions, and we're kind of wondering, why does it work like this?
Heavy, breathy questions.
Okay, so for the last topic of this week's show, we're going to be talking about expansion. So last week, the commissioner said that she would love the W to expand by 2 more teams, and so we are going to pick our cities for where those franchises would be. My pick for the East Coast would be Boston. I recently moved from Boston. I think Boston is a great sports city, and I think they would welcome another team to cheer and root for, and so I'm picking Boston as my East Coast team.
Are you doing this based on that they have, because my train of thought here is I really like them tied with an NBA team too.
So it doesn't have to, but I think it helps.
Okay. My follow-up question to you then. Like the Dallas Wings, for instance, are like a Pegasus, and same as like a Dallas Maverick, right?
Oh, okay. Now you want me to think.
Are you the Boston Celticas?
No, we are not the
Boston Lady Celts?
No, I hate when people put lady
I
in
do
front of
too.
something.
I cannot. I'm sorry. Right now, you're the GM. The Boston?
I would say the Boston Shamrocks.
I like that. And what if their mascot was like Lady Luck?
Your East Coast team.
Oh, my East Coast team. Look, I have said this to you. I really like it to be connected with a really strong college fan base. Like, I think that helps a lot. Mm-hmm. I feel like my East Coast team is going to be Tennessee-based. I love the support in that area for, obviously, Tennessee Lady Vols. I feel like they show up for that. But I think also just with, like, Memphis and Nashville, you could do some really fun things and tie it in with either the Grizzlies or the Nashville. Nashville is a fun place to live. So I'm going to go with the Memphis or Nashville. Where would you want to live?
I would pick Memphis. I've been to Nashville. Like, that's also, it's a very white city. And so me as like a black queer woman, like, I'm going to pick Memphis.
Yeah, we're going to go with the Memphis. Mm-hmm. Memphis. My team for the East Coast is Memphis. Would love to see a team there.
I'm sorry. Where's your mascot?
I've paused because I couldn't think of one. Okay.
The Memphis Miners. They mine in Memphis. That's much more Golden State.
We'll be learning all about geography in our next episode. Okay, no, the Memphis Mama Bears.
No. He's like, I can't stand Lady This. Mama, yes.
Mama, the Memphis Mamas.
The Memphis Mama.
Memphis Mamas.
Okay, Mama.
All right, what's your West Coast team?
My
We've
West
heard about
Coast
the
team.
Memphis Mamas.
My West Coast team is a Portland-based team. I think they love their Portland Trailblazers, and so I would put a W team in Portland.
I'm going to agree with you. A couple cities that I consider that would be fun, I think, to come west would be Denver and Salt Lake City. And then I think about also the whiteness of Salt Lake City. That is what it is. It is what it is. They got a men's national basketball team there, so they could throw some dub up in there. But I like Denver too. I feel like that could be a really fun city.
I like San Francisco. I think San Francisco would be really fun. But I don't know. I feel like there's just kind of a lot going on, and so maybe not.
I think about that too, and then I'm like, well, they already got LA, Phoenix, and Vegas right there. That feels like super duper close. Anyways, that'd be fun to see.
That was a really fun episode. For next week, we will be sharing our Wednesday experience and our weekend experience.
And gonna get our tattoos of Candace Parker this week, just so she know, like, when we're like, look, it says you here,
We
talk
love
to
you,
me.
Candace.
That was it. Yeah, great show this week. We got into the weeds.
We did. That was really fun.
Loved it.
For Balance Sports, I'm Jewelz.
And I'm Hunter.